Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Bulls on Tap. I'm your boy Buzz, and I'm joined by the returning, my dude, Bull Scripted, aka Goose. I usually flip that around, but I did it weird this time. I don't know why.
And we're too excited.
I did. I got very excited. We are here to recap the Chicago Bulls' victory over the Charlotte Hornets, 108-91. Before we do that, be sure to go to ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Bulls on Tap, at OnTapSportsNet. Following Goose at Bull Scripted, me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review, because that's cool and tough. Goose, you weren't with me last night. It was me and Burke. We recapped that absolute beatdown to the Cavs. You're coming back, and it seems to be a good time. Bulls play a great game tonight, man. And first of all, how are you? Second of all, did you enjoy that?
I mean, I don't think there's a Bulls fan out there that didn't enjoy that. I don't know if there's as many Bulls fans watching tonight as usual after last night. Because for me personally, I watched the first quarter after I got home from work. And after the first quarter, I decided I was going to fast forward to the third quarter. And after that, I then just turned the basketball game off. So, who's killing you already?
No, he's not. He's that's our boy Chai Sports Fan. You just put my friend Buzz the millionaire because I bet on the Bulls to win.
Yeah?
I'm a homer. What do you fucking think?
So what did you win?
I probably won like $10.
Okay. I thought he was being like at least a little less hyperbolic than.
No, I can definitely go get it. I can go get an Arizona green tea and a pizza Lunchable tomorrow morning before work.
Fucking A, living the life.
Absolutely,
mean, so after the Cleveland game, yeah, this was awesome. Me myself, I'm fucking exhausted. I haven't worked for like 8+ months and just put in 24 hours and 2 days at a new job. So I'm a little exhausted. But I'm happily medicated. And, the Bulls are another good dose of medicine. Kobe White, 0 fucking turnovers tonight, man.
Yeah, no, he
0.
played fantastic tonight, dude. And I'm on your boat. I've not to get into the nitty gritty here because fans are here for a post game, but oh my god, between doing the day job and the husband job and the dad job and the Bulls and then the fucking Sox have now started. It's been crazy, but the Bulls really brought me down last night, and we had some laughs about it after we got murdered by the Cavs. But tonight, it's exactly what I had tweeted out earlier. It's exactly what we said on Bulls on Tap last night. We wanted them to come out with a little bit of pep in their step, and we wanted them to come out with some goddamn attitude. And finally, respond to a beatdown and respond decisively as well. Not just, we're going to be in the game and let's hope we get this victory. Come out and smack them in the mouth. Like, do not let them take advantage of you. And that's what you saw tonight. You saw that tonight. Vooch came out hot as hell. Huge game for him. 18, 16, and 6 on 8 of 13 shooting. You had Kobe White, 18 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers, 3 rebounds. He had a great game. Daniel Tice played well tonight as well. A big body in the paint, defending at the rim. I think the biggest thing that I could take away to start the tone of this game was, stealing a Stacyism here, the active hands of the Chicago Bulls in the first, whether that's blocking shots, whether that's getting in the passing lane and creating steals, whether that's playing man-to-man defense, getting up on your, on the offensive player and just taking his cookies, man. And that's what they did.
Well, and how much of that do you think is Bartholomew himself, or do you think it's everybody? Because I feel like Temple is a really big factor in that. So how do we make that adjustment? Do we just put Kobe on the bench when Zach's back? You heard Kobe. I don't know if you said you were in a meeting, so maybe you didn't get to hear Kobe post game.
I did.
He mentioned there's no way on this team that we're ever going to replace 28 points per game. So we've had to find ways to do it different ways. And a lot of that has been on the defensive end. And hopefully we can continue to see that when Zach gets back, but that's going to be on the coaching staff to put them in similar positions. So really curious to see how that plays out, because the way Kobe's playing, how do you tell this kid to go back to the bench?
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough.
Then we fall right back into that trap where the defense is going to be so bad that we can't win, though.
Well, consistency is key. And consistency is key for Kobe White. Speaking of him moving to the bench and having Sato start, Sato comes in off the bench and he has a really good game here tonight. He's another guy I wanted to bring up. Had a huge ass thunder dunk. He has 7 assists off the damn bench, 3 steals, 10 points. He went 4 for 10 from the field, but he was doing a lot of the little things that aren't super flashy besides his big dunk. But again, where we're at right now, how the team was performing with the starting lineup that was put together after Vooch got here wasn't all that. You're going to have to ride the hot hands here and keep people in the places that they are, thriving in. And right now, to me, Sato off the bench, I like that. It gives us a playmaker off the bench, and you could stagger these lineups. It's not like a 5 in and 5 out like I bitched about with you the other night.
Oh, well, I'm not even suggesting Sato is a starter. I'm saying putting Zach out there with Temple on down, as we're seeing Kobe.
Well, and that could be a possibility. I don't think that would be a wrong thing either, because then Kobe can come in off the bench and focus on what he does best, scoring and somewhat creating like he did tonight as well for his teammates. I mean, the play of Kobe White is more, in my mind, of confidence than it was lack of skill or basketball IQ. You point this out every time someone shits on him. Look at his, assist to turnover ratio. You point that out constantly. He gets himself in trouble when he's trying to create and trying to be the guy that needs to score as well. That's when he runs into these issues. Tonight, he didn't really run into a lot of those issues. The team he fought over screens tonight. He played defense to the best of his capability. And we've said on the show before, I'm keeping that same energy. He always gives an effort on D. And I give him credit for that. Okay.
And he's actually had some positive key defensive plays in a couple of these games recently.
He has.
Obviously, Cleveland, nothing counts.
I would like to still see Daniel Tice start with Vooch, because I feel that gives us the best, defensive front court that we could possibly have on the team, whether people like that or not necessarily. But these guys did their jobs tonight. And I think it really, it reigns true here that I had put out a tweet earlier today that they need to get Vooch going early and often, because there's nobody in that starting lineup that's going to stop him. Okay, Carey Jr. played 3 minutes the other night when they played New York. He ends up playing 15 tonight, all right? You get 11 minutes of Bismack Biyombo. Those guys can't hang with him. And when they got him going early and they played defense where they needed to play defense, they jumped out to a massive lead. And they kept it going. Contesting shots, contesting at the rim, scoring the ball. That's things that we need to see more. And you know what? This Hornets team, Goose, is in the playoff picture. They're the 8th seed. So us coming out tonight with a decisive win, though they don't have LaMelo Ball, I know that, but they still have Scary Terry and Devontae Graham there. They took advantage of these guys and they played strong. They played with heart. And I know that sounds super cliche, but that was something you needed to see from the Bulls. It's in there. Consistency is key.
I mean, you have 3 out of 4 games where you held teams under 100 points, and then you have 1 complete stinker. So did they just get too headstrong after 2 games? You watched that game. I did not. So for me to see this tonight, but then to hear, see, read, and feel everything I felt in the compacted amount of game that I watched, it doesn't make much sense. Is Billy that great of a motivator that he said all your jobs are on the line? If you don't fucking play how you can play tonight, it's all done and over with? Like, how did we get absolutely nothing in Cleveland? As Joakim Noah says, there's nothing to fucking do in Cleveland. There's no, who wants to go to Cleveland? So it should have been a night on the town that resulted in a bad game. The Cavs have had our number this year. Fuck, they might have forced us into the Vooch trade. And then we get Vooch and they still kick our ass. So, but we have had Charlotte's number, and we wouldn't see the Cavs in the playoffs. We would see Charlotte. I think Stacey and Adam mentioned tonight, of the 14 games remaining, 12 of the 14 are against Eastern Conference playoff teams. So this is the test. Can they bring what they brought tonight in the 2 previous games every night, and every night when they get Zach LaVine back? Does that mentality stay the same, or do we adapt this? We're better than everybody. because of a 2-game win streak, or the fact that you did this without Zach LaVine and then you get him back, and then you go into this game and we have that same, we're better than them, so we're going to win this game, and then you get your ass kicked.
I think it all comes down to mentality. So I know you said you didn't get to watch a lot of the game last night, but last night they weren't getting to the perimeter to defend on threes, and we were getting killed on that at first. And then in the paint too, they were just getting through and they were getting anything they wanted. And when the Bulls fell down so far, I mean, they were down 33 points at one time yesterday. It felt like the wind was completely taken out of their sails. And maybe they needed that ass kicking off after coming off a 2-game win streak and holding 2 teams in a row to, what was it, under 100 points or whatever. I mean, it was just, maybe they got lackadaisical. Maybe they got comfortable. And after that beat down to a
but
team
after 2 games, that's the issue.
It is an issue. But
if you make the 10 seed, you have to win like 3 games in a row to actually make the playoffs.
Right.
If we can't win 3 fucking games in a row, what are we getting excited about?
I'm more so excited. Okay, so here's the homer. I'm more so excited because they kicked the shit out of them, and I needed that for my psyche.
Well, no, I mean, tonight was great, but why the Cavs? The Cavs forced us into it ultimately right before the trade deadline. The Cavs kicked our ass. Next matchup with the Cavs, we win. 2 days later, we get our ass kicked. So do we just, after 2 games, think that we're better than these teams? Like, where does that mentality come from when this team has never won 4 games in a row?
Right. Like, well, the NBA is full of every game is different. Every circumstance is different. And like I told you, the only thing that I could point out from last night's performance compared to tonight's performance is they came out lazy and they maybe came out overconfident. And when they got smacked in the mouth, they didn't respond to it. So tonight, they didn't give Charlotte a chance to smack them in the mouth. And that's where the adjustment came in. And I don't know what Billy Donovan said. And as I've said on this podcast all year long, I will not criticize Billy Donovan. I won't do it. I've kind of like not questioned, but like kind of shrugged at a couple of the lineups that he trotted out there.
Rotational nitpick isn't really gripes anyway.
Right. So I but tonight he had his team ready. And that was something that needed to happen. And they responded. I can't speak to what happens when Zach comes back because we saw what was going on. You know, he was a little banged up when Vooch did come here, and I'm not using that as an excuse.
Oh, no, it's a valid excuse.
But, you know, I can't speak on what's going to happen. But after that was in my opinion, that was like even the 18-point leads that we blew earlier in the year. Last night's loss was 10 times worse than that because you just got literally fucking smacked. I mean, just beat down immediately off the bat. Tonight, the response to that.
22 at the end of the first? That's what
we scored 12 points in the first quarter. We scored a point a minute last night in the first quarter. The response to that tonight was absolutely fantastic, and not just in scoring, but in all-around play, communication on the court, defense, ball movement. All of that took place tonight to handedly beat them. I mean, we almost I had the Bulls on tap account in my hand, in my phone, and I'm getting ready to tweet 30-point deficit alert. But hey, guys, it's reversed. It's going to be us. You know, we're winning by 30 points. Like, you know, they came out tonight and they smacked them in the mouth. And if anything, it shows me that you have guys that listened to direction and took that loss to heart last night. And we're like, oh shit, man, like this is embarrassing. We need to come out and make a statement. And that's why I'm on cloud 9 about it. I'm on cloud 9 about a win that's decisive like that. Even though Charlotte's 28-30 now, they're still have a better record than the Chicago Bulls, and they're still in the Eastern Conference playoff picture when the Bulls are not. And they came out and smacked them in the face. 108 points. Not one scorer on the Bulls went over 18, which means the wealth was spread out. And I want to see more of that.
All right. No, I mean,
I'm on fire. I'm just so happy.
That's all right. I wish I could take the same poison pill as you. I thoroughly enjoyed the game tonight, especially after a couple of long days. Looking forward to the Heat series. I'm just not trying to get that high on Clyde down with it right now. Like, it's just hard.
I understand. I do want to tell you one thing, though. This is the 43rd consecutive game the Bulls have had over 20 assists. They actually had 30 tonight. So that's, again,
the 43rd?
Yes.
Of over 20?
Yes, assists.
Okay.
Yeah. They ended with 30 tonight. Also out rebounded 49-39, which is great. The Bulls out rebound the Hornets. They did not shoot particularly well from three. They went 14 for 43 with a couple air balls. Hi, Denzel. I'm not going to blame Sato because he probably hurt his arm on that dunk. So I'm not going to, I'm not
what happened in the last 30 seconds that had me dying of this game?
Oh, Felicio?
No, Felicio actually did something positive, I think.
You know, he had a +9 in the Cavs loss. He was the best plus-minus on the team.
Wow. That's how you know you got your ass kicked.
Yeah. Where I do want to scrutinize the Bulls, though, they did have 30 assists. They did turn the ball over 17 times. They got to stop that shit. We had a stretch of games where we weren't turning the ball over the last 2 nights.
How do you have 17 assists when your point guard has 0?
Yeah, it's
16 turnovers. 16 turnovers. Okay, at least that's what ESPN has.
Oh, what did I say? No,
you said 17.
Oh, I had on my ESPN app. It says 17 for me. 17 total turnovers for the Bulls.
So maybe one of ours is behind, but 16. How do you have 16 turnovers when your point guard has 0?
I have no idea.
Kobe White has 0 turnovers. You still got the league worst turnover ratio in the league. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, we had 3 from Temple, we had 3 from Tice, we had 2 from Vooch, we had 3 from Thad. So our bigs struggled with the ball. Sato had 1, Makoka had 1, Javonte Green had 1, and so did Denzel Valentine.
That's what it was. It was Javonte Green's pass that went like
sailed over Makoka's head into the stands. Yeah, it was fantastic. That was good. That was good shit. I do want to take a question here from Sean. Sean joins us every night on the stream, and I appreciate it. He said, maybe you know the answer to this question. Why didn't the Hornets just lob the ball all night like the Cavs did? That was the same team, right? The Bulls. Yeah, Sean. So, again, tonight I feel like the Bulls jumped on them so early that the Hornets the defense was good. The man-to-man defense was good. Dropping in coverage was good for the Bulls tonight as well. Also, with that being said, when you go down quick like that, they kind of start chucking a little bit. And that's what they started to do. They started to chuck a little bit. So they're not looking, they're trying to get back into the game. And from pretty much every NBA analytical mind that will tell you a 3-point shot is better than a 2-point shot. So they were trying to get back into the game. They did make adjustments going into the second half where they did try to start getting to the rim a little bit more, but the Bulls did play pretty decent interior defense tonight. Plus, though they have a crazy athletic team, their bigs weren't able to do what Cleveland's bigs were to us. So I hope that answers your question as much as I possibly can.
I think he might be onto something, though, because in the games that we have thoroughly gotten our ass handed to us in, the Hawks game, the Cavs game, these teams are just throwing lobs to guys. Capella, Allen, you're just getting dunked on by dunkers, and that seems to be a weakness on this team. So that he might be onto something there.
He definitely is. He definitely is on something. But at the same time, again, when a team is able to create turnovers like the Bulls were in the first quarter and capitalize on those turnovers and get points off of them and start going up where you're up 10, 12 points already in the first quarter, at a certain point, you need to make adjustments. Maybe lobs would have worked, but they come out and they're trying to get back into the game. And their shot was not falling well. I mean, Cleveland didn't shoot good from 3 either. They went 8 for 31. That's good for 25%. They went 35 for 82 from the field. That's good for 42% to the Bulls.
And I completely agree with you. In terms of personnel, that's kind of what I was trying to point out. These teams had the players to do it, but it's clearly a weakness for the Bulls that I think we might see more teams try to exploit. But obviously you have to have the players to do that kind of thing.
If you're going to see it exploited, you'll see it exploited tomorrow night. Or not tomorrow night, I'm so sorry, Saturday night. And I do want to drop a little before we get into that preview. I'm sorry. I do want to drop a little thing. We will not be live Saturday night because I will be making my return to Guaranteed Rate Field for the first time since 2019. I will be at the Sox game. Goose and I will be either back Sunday to recap the week, or we'll be back on Monday after they play the Heat again.
The Heat recap.
Yes, so
heat cap.
Yeah, the heat cap. It'll be probably a 2-for-1 episode there. Just want to throw that out there real quick. There's a couple moments in this game I do want to bring up too. I want to bring up the Kobe White dunk off that sweet dish from Garrett Temple. Kobe has
a little bit. He was going to make it.
I didn't think he was gonna make it either. It scared me.
I,
I thought he was gonna get rejected by the rim for a minute, but he's got some good wingspan there where he was able to Michael Jordan Space Jam it, just stretch his
I didn't
arm a
think he
little
was
bit
going
and
to
get
make
down.
it.
We had that. We had a great
The decision to pass it back was like so late and poorly timed that it caught Kobe off guard that he like didn't have time to jump. And I thought on the way up he was screwed. But he made it over, and they asked him after the game. Stacey was like, "So that's your 4th dunk of the year. Why don't you tell the fans about your hops?" Kobe said something like, "Once a month, once a month." And Stacey was like, "You sound like a vet. We need to see it more." He's like, "Nope, once a month. That's it."
I dig it. He's conserving his energy is what he's doing, so he can give us a nice thunder dunk like that every once in a while. I do want to point out too, I know I talked about it a little bit before. Vooch's hot start really set the tempo for this game, along with the defensive presence with them creating turnovers. And I do want to touch on Lauri Markkanen tonight. He makes 4 field goals. He goes 4 for 11. 3 of the makes were from downtown. 8 of his shots came from downtown out of his 11 there. Lauri hit a couple big threes. And I wouldn't say necessarily big, but they were threes that were like responses to the Hornets kind of coming back, not coming back, but getting into a little bit of a groove. So I'll say that he deflated them a little bit with those threes. He played a decent game, and I can't speak enough about Satoransky and his game off the bench.
You did it again.
What I did.
The Sato curse, man. You complimented him now. It's going to be trash.
You stuck, Sato. God damn it. He's going to be so bad now tomorrow because I just talked. I can't praise anybody. I can't be nice because then they.
Oh, you can praise everybody else, just not Sato.
Right.
Everybody else it's worked out for so far. It's just Sato, not so much.
You're 100% right. I got to stop doing that shit. Also, Denzel Valentine is not very good at basketball, so I just want to throw that out there as well. I don't care about his little flashy passes and everything. He drives me absolutely.
Holy shit, he was 0 for 6 from 3 tonight.
Yeah, he was not good. He was just not good at all. Like I miss Troy Brown Jr. so much. It's unbelievable. You got anything else in this game before we move on to our preview here?
No. I mean, let's not let Jimmy Butler kick our ass for 2 games. Let's at least steal 1. Let's continue to prove this point that we deserve to be in the hunt for a below 510th seed to get a chance to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's what we're fighting for. And when you break it down that much, you should be extremely fucking desperate right now. And you need to have that mentality every night. And hopefully we can adapt and identify an identity to finish this season that we can carry into next year. And hopefully we get Troy Brown Jr. back, because the fact that he's been out these last 2 games, I'm going to blame the Cavs loss entirely on that fact alone, because TBJ is a monster. But other than that, I ain't got anything else for you.
Well, before we do get into the preview about the Heat, everybody, just real quick, if you got the time, go to manscaped.com, use promo code ONTAP, get 20% off and free shipping on all your manscaping needs. The Lawnmower 3.0, the ball toner, the ball deodorant. You get any of that stuff there. You can get the Weed Whacker if you have nose hair, and that'll trim out your nose hair. Keep you nice, fresh, looking good. Your girl will like it, your boy like it, whatever you prefer, my friends. You got to check out manscaped.com. Again, use promo code ONTAP. Summer's coming around. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be nasty. 20% off, free shipping. Order now. Manscaped.com, promo code ONTAP. So, like you brought up before, Jimmy Butler and the Heat. 2 straight games in Miami. The Heat are currently sitting in the 7th seed at 31-28. Obviously, there's been some health issues with them this year. Whether that was Hero missing time, whether it was Jimmy Butler missing time, Bam missed a little bit of time. Not a lot of time, but a little bit of time. I believe he had like an ankle injury or something like that. But this team has been playing decent as of late. In their last 10, they're 6-4, and they're currently riding a 3-game win streak. Now, I do believe they play tomorrow. I could be wrong. I have to look that up. But they do play tomorrow against Atlanta, which will be without Trae Young after he suffered an injury. So we will get Miami on the second of a back-to-back, which can be in the Bulls' favor. You know, Miami's going to have to play Atlanta and then travel back to Miami. Now, that's a far trip, but hey, you're going to have to play 48 minutes of basketball. So what do the Bulls have to do in this game to pick up a win?
Stopping Jimmy would be a good start, but I don't know if they're playing the Hawks without Trae Young. That could be a game that they win handily and they have enough rest where you're not seeing a depleted Heat team in the back end of a back-to-back. Tyler Hero hasn't had the greatest season, so I don't know that he's much of a threat, but we're going to need the defensive intensity. Because like Kobe said at the end of the game, and we talked about earlier, you're not going to make up that 28 points in one person. It's going to be collectively, and it has to be made up in little areas like defense to keep teams under 100 points. The Heat play a similar grinded-out game, so I don't know if we'll be able to beat them at their own game. But we're going to need heavy bench contributions. And, I don't know. I'm not too optimistic about the Heat, my friend.
You know what? I've just went and looked back. Jimmy Butler has not played the last 2 games for the Miami Heat.
He hasn't played the last 2 games?
He did. Wait, I might have clicked on the wrong thing. No, he hasn't. It's been the starting lineup's been Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Bam, Trevor. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, he did. My bad, bro. My bad. I missed him.
You got me Googling faster than I've ever Googled. What do you mean?
I got a little too far ahead of myself. I got a little too far ahead of myself there. He did not play in the game against the Nets. And then he also did not play in the game against the Rockets, it looks like, as well. Yeah, he did not. So he did play last night. So that's my bad. So he did miss the Nets and the Rockets game against the Heat, but he did play against the Spurs, and the Heat blew out the Spurs by 20, 107-87 in San Antonio there. So tomorrow, I'm assuming Bam's going to be on Vooch. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, yeah. I mean, for our defensive possessions, we'll probably see Tice on Bam opposed to Vooch, or at least ideally, that's probably what you'd want to see. But yeah, Vooch is going to be dealing with Bam the majority.
And that's going to be a rough go at it because Bam is a very, very good defender. And
they'll probably throw Jimmy on Kobe.
Kobe, exactly. That was my thought process. I don't think they're going to put him on Temple. They'll probably throw Duncan Robinson on him because Temple's not that much of a threat, and Kobe White has the potential to be a threat. So they're probably going to throw Jimmy on our best available perimeter player in Kobe White, and they're going to throw Bam on our best big in Vooch. So Saturday is going to be a big challenge for the Bulls. I mean, like I said, the only thing that I could think of that would be a beneficial thing is that they're coming off a back-to-back. It'll be the second game of that. But like you said, if Trae Young's not playing and, they get out to a big lead in time, you might see them guys rest a little bit there. And, at this point, I'm sure Miami's going to be trying to win every game from here on out and wanting to win the winnable games because they do not want to be in a position, Goose, where they are the 7th seed and in some sort of play-in. They want to have that locked-in guaranteed spot 1 through 6 in the Eastern Conference playoff picture.
No, they're definitely chasing the safety of 6. And I guess after we kind of laid all that out and talked ourselves through, I guess the key to beat the Heat coming off of a back-to-back, whether they blow out the Hawks or have a competitive game, is to get off to a good start because that second half, you should have the leg up. You should have more gas to close. So if you get out early and the Heat are playing from behind, the chances of them coming out in that second half and having the steam to make that comeback is, probably your best chance. So just like tonight, get an early lead and don't take your foot off the gas because tonight is probably the first game that I could say we got the lead, we kept the lead, and there was never that moment where you were like, holy shit, we're going to lose the lead again, aren't we? So make that a habit.
That's a really good point, man. Like I never felt in this game that we were in any sort of situation where we were going to lose it. I did not feel like that. And I really didn't think about I always think about that Spurs loss that we had. We had a countless games this year where we had a lead and we blew it. But the Spurs game always just rings in my head is how good we looked there in that first half and then how we started losing it. And then we went up again and then we went down immediately and we never turned it around. Tonight wasn't that way. If they could build off that and keep continuing to gel and play defense, you're going to see this team do well. And they did play defense, tonight. They did play defense in those 2 prior wins before the Cavs blowout, so I'm hoping that they can keep that same energy against a very good Miami Heat team that has, again, battled injuries this year, which is probably why they're sitting in the 7th seed where they're at right now. But hey, man, only time will tell. Only time will tell. It's just so funny to me that I look and I see the Knicks in the 4th seed. That just trips me out, man.
It is weird. I mean, I literally had to give them props the other day when they won their 7th game in a row or whatever it was, because what do you do but tip your cap? I mean, I like to mess with Knicks fans because they've sucked for so long and they haven't really ever been good, at least in my lifetime. So, it tips to tips. I can't.
D Rose, Taj Gibson over there contributing.
I never would have thought that they'd be sitting 4th. Like, I know the East sucks, and we can use that as an excuse for why they're there more than anything. But to have the consistency that teams like Boston, who have been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice in a row, haven't been able to have, you got to give it up to them, and hopefully we can be in that same 4 to 6 tier with them for the next couple of years and have some fun battles that make being a fan fun again and kind of get that rivalry going, because it is fun to fuck with Knicks fans.
Absolutely, and we're going to have a chance to do that after this 2-game set in Miami. The Knicks will be the next opponent after that, but we'll get to that after our Miami wrap up, and we'll preview the Knicks afterwards. I just thought it was so funny looking at the Eastern Conference standings and seeing where they're sitting right now. Other than that,
Julius Randle.
Yeah, Julius Randle. Hey, he's played great, man.
No, he should have MVP consideration.
He's played very, very well this year. Super surprising. And I just got to give credit where credit's due. He's played a great brand of basketball this year. And I think that, honest to God, Tom Thibodeau has helped bring out the best in him. I know it's a lot of minutes, but he's taking advantage of those minutes and he's playing really fucking good ball. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to throw out there. You got anything, my man?
No. Take it easy. Stay sleazy. Let's keep rolling blazies and get some more Wheezies.
All right. Wheezy F baby. I get it. All right, take it. All right.
No, I mean Wheezy's W's. Sorry.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, my man. But you're getting a little too crazy for me here. Everybody be sure to go to ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter at Bulls on Tap, at OnTapSportsNet. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review. If you guys do that, mean the world to us. Go give us a 5-star rating and review there on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and do that. I do want to thank everybody that does listen to this show. We, in a little under 200, I think it's a little under 200 episodes of this show, I think we just went over 28,000 all-time listens. So I just want to thank everybody that does listen to this show every night after the game. And the guys that ask questions in here and just interact with us, not even questions, statements, whatever. I want to thank all you guys for doing that, sticking with us through these late games and whatever, because Lord knows right now I'm about to fall over. So with that being said, we will not be back Saturday. We might have a Sunday episode, or we might just do everything on Monday due to me being at the White Sox game, but we'll be back when we're back, man. Let's go Bulls.